Welcome to Media and Information Literacy. For today, I'll be discussing to you the three communication models. First one is what we call linear model of communication. In linear model of communication, there are three key elements. You have the sender who encodes the message and the receiver decodes the message. It is called linear communication because there is no feedback coming from the receiver going to the sender. The receiver is passive and not active. The reason why, even though linear model of communication is the foundation of all the communication models, it is not an effective model of communication. The second model of communication is what we call Shannon-Weaver model of communication. Shannon, who is a mathematician, and Weaver, who is a scientist. Shannon and Weaver innovated a linear model of communication. In this particular diagram, you will see that the sender encodes the message through a channel or medium, and the receiver decodes the message. There are two key elements added under Shannon-Weaver. First is what we call feedback, and the second is what we call noise. The noise is located at the channel or medium, and there are two types of noise. You have the internal noise and the external noise. Internal noise are, for example, if you are too emotional and you cannot focus. Second, if you are not composed. Third, if there's internal disturbance in a particular person. Those are examples of internal noise. For external noise, these are your environmental sound. Birds chirping, baby crying, etc. Shannon-Weaver also added feedback. It is from the receiver going to the sender. The Shannon-Weaver model of communication is mathematical or technical in nature. The reason why they provided us this particular formula. There is a positive feedback if there is a negative noise, or there is a positive feedback if there's no existence of noise. There's a negative feedback if there is a positive noise, or there is a negative feedback if there is the existence of noise. Looking at Shannon-Weaver model of communication, we can consider this as an effective model of communication due to the existence of feedback. Hence, take note of this. Shannon-Weaver model of communication only checks probability. That whenever there is a question, there is always an answer. Hence, we need to check if the answer complement the question. For example, "Hi there, how are you? I'm from Naga City." The feedback of the receiver do not complement the question of the sender, and that is what Shannon-Weaver is trying to propose. That while they're checking probability, they fail to acknowledge that human communication is not mathematical or technical in nature, and they miss out the sender and the receiver. Shannon-Weaver missed the key elements that the sender and the receiver must have. The reason why we have Berlow's SMCR. Sender, message, channel, and receiver. There's no stipulation of feedback in the diagram, as well as the noise located at the channel or medium. Why? Because the feedback and the noise in a particular diagram or communication flowchart is already patent to Shannon and Weaver. Therefore, the feedback and noise under SMCR of David Berlow's are implied but not stated. David Berlow acknowledged the fact that human communication is not mathematical in nature. The reason why he provided the four key elements under the sender and the receiver, and those are your communication skills, attitude, knowledge, social-cultural system. Let's discuss first communication skills. For example, you are a particular commentator in a radio station.
Hello, welcome to the WLB, and now I'm going to discuss to you COVID-19 and this particular pandemic that there is a particular virus.
What is the problem in that particular scenario? First is the proper pronunciation and intonation. Remember, communication skills is very important for you to convey properly the information or the message. Second is what we call attitude. Attitude and response is very important. For example, "Hey kid, you look so happy today. Can you tell me something about it?"
I'm so happy today, Mom! You know what? I got the perfect score in our class, and I'm the only person who got the perfect score. I'm so glad about it.
The attitude in delivering a particular message do not actually complement the content. Proper delivery, proper tone are very important. Third is what we call knowledge. The sender and the receiver must be on the same page, same book. Not on the same page, different book. What if you are a social journalism student and you would like to pitch your story to an ABM student? "Hey there, friend, how are you? Do you know that rule of thirds is very important in photography because for you not to violate visual, boom, boom, boom." What happened to your ABM friend? Would he or she cope up with the conversation? No. But what if you are a social journalism student and you are discussing rule of thirds to another social journalism student? There will be an effective model of communication because both of you are on the same page, same book, because you know for a fact what is a rule of thirds. Social-cultural system is very important. This is where you are going to exhibit code of ethics, etiquette, and etiquette. Social-cultural system embraces diversity. It promotes inclusivity. David Berlow's SMCR exhibit human communication as long as the sender and the receiver are on the same wavelength in a particular exchange of information. In a nutshell, how do we understand Linear, Shannon Weaver, and David Berlow's? Always remember that in linear model of communication, there is no existence of feedback. The receiver is passive, not active. In Shannon Weaver model of communication, there is the existence of feedback and noise. Hence, the sender and the receiver must be on the same page, same book. And you can find those key elements under David Berlow's SMCR, wherein the sender and the receiver practice human communication.